Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Harmony One. I do want to say that I'm not a financial advisor. You should do your own research before investing money into crypto. If you haven't seen the previous update, make sure to watch that before watching this one. It's going to be linked in the top right hand corner of the screen. Now let's jump straight into the TA. Now, taking a look at the daily chart, if I remove one of the fibs, you can see that we have a Fibonacci retracement set up from the January low of 2023 all the way back up to the November 2021 high, and our 1.618 target during the next bull market is going to be at around about $3.77. I would say that's a bit too bullish for this fib. So what you can do to be a bit more conservative is you can remove the log scale from the fib, right? And you can target those 1.618 levels and the 2.414, or what you can do is you can simply target the 1.272 or the 1.414, and those are going to be your minimal target. So you have the 1.272 at $1.05, and you have the 1.414 at $1.78. So that would be something for you to look at. If I remove that fib and I bring back the other one that we had, this one had the extension levels to the downside, and we retested, or we're actually pulling back down to retest our 1.618 target. For this fib, we had the swing high November 2021 and the swing low in July of 2021, and we have the 1.618 at 0.0130 cents, and we had this level way before we were down here. So we were looking at that level when we were trading over here in this range, and I told you guys the 1.618 is our technical target, and we did drop down. We did go a bit below that, and then we had a massive move to the upside. We ran into a resistance level, then we back tested that same resistance level one more time, and now we're pulling back down. So let me bring back the other fib and let's zoom into, let's actually remove all the fibs so it's not that distracting, because I know sometimes it could be distracting for people who are new to trading and new to charting. So let's make it as easy as possible for them as well. Now we have this purple support block, and this is basically an area where the price, when the price reaches this area, it has a move to the upside. It has a bounce. So this is where the buyers are coming in, and they think that the price for the Harmony token is way cheap in this area, so that's why they're buying it. So we had that occur multiple times, and we were targeting this area once again, and right now you could be dollar cost averaging if you want to do that. Obviously not a financial advice. We had a little fake out over here, but you can discount this because this was a massive pullback during the November FTX crash, and then we dipped into December. So right now you don't really want to be expecting these prices again, because you don't want to be a newbie thinking that just because we reached that price once, we're going to come back down there again. Now, if we do, then of course you can dollar cost average in and buy as many tokens as you can, but not buying in at all just because you feel like the price is going to come back down to that low is also a very stupid thing to do, because you can't create your portfolio or set up your buy limit orders based on feelings. You have to go off of what's going on in the financial markets, what's going on with the Fed, what's going on with your project in particular. So for Harmony One, I don't own any tokens. I'm doing these TAs for Harmony One just because a lot of people seem to enjoy the Harmony breakdowns and the updates, and a lot of people tune into these videos because they have the token and they want to see what's going on with the price. So yeah, full transparency, I don't own any Harmony One. That doesn't mean it's a bad project. It just means that I'm bullish on some other projects, and I'm not saying I'm not going to buy at all into Harmony One. So for now, we do have a major resistance level over here at 0.0215 cents. We actually had a tag on the right side. No, it doesn't matter. So potentially, if we have another move to the upside, we could have some sort of a retracement, a backtest of that trend line, and then a move back down. So essentially, we're just going to be continuing this downtrend that we're seeing, but you can see that the purple block is holding us up. So at some point you're going to get squeezed up here between the yellow resistance trend line and the purple support block, and you're going to be forced into a move. And usually with a pattern like that, which is a descending triangle where you have a support trend line that's a horizontal support and you have a descending diagonal resistance trend line, so your highs are constantly lower but the support is actually horizontal, so you're bouncing off the same level and you're getting sent back down quicker each time, and lo and behold, you break down and then you start retesting the key support levels below that. Now, one of those levels is going to be the yellow support trend line over here at 0.01359 cents roughly. And as always, guys, I ask you to look into these buy alerts with caution, so never set the buy alerts at the exact same support level price. The same goes for the resistance price when you're selling. Make sure to have the limit order slightly above the support so that you have more chances of getting filled, because if a lot of people pile in on this exact same level, you could just end up not getting your order filled, the price will reverse, and then you're forced to buy higher, thus pushing the price even higher. So you want to make sure you just have that nice entry slightly above the support. If the price reverses before getting to the actual support, you're in the win because you have the tokens, and the people that were waiting down here are going to be forced to buy higher. So that's just something to keep in mind. Now, right now, I would definitely be looking at some buying opportunities because this is where we saw the pullback in March. We bounced off from there and we saw a move to the upside. So maybe we have another move to the upside into the yellow trend line. So that's something that you can look into if you're looking for a swing trade. If you're looking for long-term hodling, you don't really have to pay attention to these short to mid-term resistance trend lines. You can just average into your position, and I don't know if you can stake Harmony One tokens. I'm pretty sure you can. Send them into staking just so they can earn passive income for you. Now let's remove all of this and go back to our fibs and take a look at the daily RSI. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, so here we have a golden support block. It works the exact same way it does on the price action chart. So we have a bunch of bounces from this gold support block. We have a few fake outs down below. Usually when we have a move below the golden block, we tend to retrace down to this purple block. Let me change the color of that. Let's make it red. Let's make it red, and let's add a bit, increase the opacity. There we go. Or decrease the opacity, I should say. And as you can see, each time we have a bounce from that red support block, we have a massive move to the upside. So if that ends up happening in the next few weeks, definitely look into some averaging in opportunities here around the RSI of 23.4, because if you lose the gold support block or the golden support block, you typically end up down here in the red block, just like you did back in January, just like you did back in July last year, in June, in May, and in April. So every single time you broke below, you ended up in the red support block, except for this time over here in May, and except for this March here as well. Otherwise, for the past year or so, you've been having a bounce from the red block. That's why it's a pretty important area to keep an eye on. And on top of that, you're going to be below the RSI of 30. If you're below the RSI of 30, you're oversold. That's an incredible buying opportunity, even without all of these support blocks. So it's really easy to take a look at the RSI and see where the RSI currently is. So if it's below the index of 30, that's a really good buying opportunity. The same way when you're selling, if it's above the RSI of 70 or the index of 70, that's way overbought, and that's where you should be looking to take some profits. It's really, really easy. Now let's switch over to the weekly chart on Binance. And before we continue with the video, I quickly want to mention my Patreon that's linked down below in the description. If you enjoy my content, you want to get more exclusive content, and you want to support me at the same time, definitely feel free to check out the Patreon, because you're going to get a 7-day free access on my Patreon and an instant access to all of my content since October 2021, which is when I started. You'll get access to content like exclusive weekly podcasts, and we're starting to invite guests already. We have 40 plus low cap gem posts. We have a bunch of project reviews. We have a bunch of resources that are going to help you save time and make more money with this upcoming bull market. So this is definitely a great exchange of value for the both of us. And once again, there's a 7-day free trial. Feel free to check it out. You can leave anytime, and let's continue with the video. So we're switching over to the weekly chart, but not Binance. This is KuCoin. And as you can see, we have a massive resistance trend line. So we have one bounce back in November, I think, or that's April. Or is that April? That's January 2022. There we go. And then we had a massive drop from there. We had this falling wedge playing out. We had a breakout. We retested the resistance. We carried out our technical target for the falling wedge, if you guys remember that. And then we ran into the white resistance trend line once again. From there, we saw another pullback down, and this time we broke above the white trend line, and now we're back testing the trend line as support. So hopefully from here we're going to see a move to the upside, and as long as we don't drop below the white trend line, we should be good to go. Now the green support trend block here set up between let me get that. So the green support block set up between 0.0138 down to 0.01135 is going to be a very good buying opportunity for you. And if the price ends up there in the next few weeks for some reason, for whatever it may be, a flash crash, another interest rate hike, a black swan event, you could target this area, because the last time we were below that was back in 2020. We broke above, then we back tested as support over here. In December 2022, we had a little move to the upside, and now potentially we could come back down to where we started retracing from, which is exactly down here at 0.0112 cents. So if you want to be on the safe side, potentially set up some buy limit orders in advance. But like I said, the price is extremely cheap right now. From this low, we're only up 64%. That is not a lot. If you're going to be at least looking to take some profits at the all-time high, we're looking at 2,000% to the upside, guys. 2,000% to the upside. That is massive. That is so much money. So don't get greedy just because of these few percent, just because you think that, you know, it's too expensive over here. A lot of people are going to do that mistake, and they're going to, you know, end up being sorry, because the price at some point is going to reverse, and your hopes for these low prices here, these low levels, are just going to be shattered, and you're going to be forced to buy even higher. So it's always better to be at least somewhat exposed to your cryptos, to your altcoins, because in case we see an alt season out of nowhere, you want to be ready for that. Now, taking a look at the stochastic, we are sitting below the RSI, or the index, I should say, of 20. That is a good area to be accumulating your tokens on any basically chart, asset, whatever, because for example, if you take a look at this accumulation phase, look at this from February 2022 all the way until December 2022. So for almost a year, you're sitting down here in the oversold. You could have been accumulating this entire time, and look at the profits. You had a massive move to the upside. You could have taken your profits here, and that would have been it. You know, if you were looking for a swing trade, you were looking to take some profits, that would have been it. You could have taken profits. If you can, let me show you. So obviously the price bottomed out in December, but we were in this downward slope for a very long time. Now, let's say you were buying in starting in what's this, February, August, September, August, October, November. If you were doing all of that and you bought in December, you could have made from December a 3x. Now, if you were obviously averaging it over here, let's say your average price was around about 1.5 cents, you could have potentially booked a 80% profit trade. So that's still not that bad during a bear market, especially considering the fact that this is a higher cap altcoin. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Now, the weekly RSI, is sitting at the index of 40, so nor here or nor there. You just want to wait for any pullbacks. If you're looking to enter and you don't want to be buying right now, wait until we come back down here, potentially have that retracement back down to these lows, and that's where you can average in on the RSI. But like I said, if I was looking to get into Harmony 1, I would definitely start averaging in right now, because you're sitting at a massive support level. We had this massive resistance level, we broke above, and now we're back testing it as support, which is exactly what we should be doing. So I would say after we break above the 20 and the 55 EMA and we have the bullish cross on the weekly, that's when I would probably stop buying, because we're going to be very overextended from all of this here. So you still have time to buy in, guys. This is extremely cheap for Harmony 1. Don't get greedy because of these few percent and these few support levels, and you're going to be waiting for these exact prices to be met. I'm just telling you, once you're going to be taking profits at, let's say, $1.50, it really doesn't matter if you bought in here or a few percent lower. You're just going to be happy that you bought in, and now you can take your profits and, you know, go buy a house or whatever you want to do with your money. So that's pretty much it. Sorry, a bit dragged, but I did want to get my point across, so hopefully you understand everything clearly. Let me know if I missed out anything important on the charts, and I'm going to see you in the next update. Take care and goodbye.